Hey guys, it's Nate, aka TheFutAccountant. Welcome back to the channel. It is the final day of 2025, and what a better way to celebrate than with a unique piece of content from EA Sports. This would make for the perfect New Year's Eve on FC26. I've got a theory, but there's no leaks to back it up, but hopefully at least we get something fun today inside of FC26 to, of course, celebrate the day. Plus, speaking of leaks, we got to talk about the Claudia Pina leaked evolution that we've been talking about for the last couple of days on this channel, because we actually know why the Evo is so hype and why this Evo is going to hurt more prices than we originally thought on the market, because the league for it is pretty crazy. Let's discuss everything today, guys. If you're excited for it, drop a thumbs up on the video, hype the video, and subscribe if you are new. Now, really quickly first, let's cover yesterday's Tuesday content, which was a pretty slow day as expected, kind of where we're at right now at this game. The promo content isn't that crazy. We're seeing out the end of winter wildcards into the next time war promo. We did have the refresh of the weekly rush points yesterday, and they're pumping draft right now, of course, with this extra objective, but man, Rush needs some hype as well, because they literally have not changed these packs very much, if at all, since the beginning of the game for the weekly Rush points. We really don't have too much of a reason to play it right now, not even for quick completion of Evos, because the Evos right now are fastly completed in the Season 4 Gold Standard Cup. So really not a whole lot going on in objectives, of course. We're just catching up with the other gameplay modes. In SBCs, we did have a new player SBC for the Brighton defensive midfielder Carlos Baleba. And once again, this is one of those SBCs that I look at and say, if this was cheaper, more people would do it, especially because for an 85 with an inform and an 86 rated squad with an inform, you're doing an SBC that kind of needs an Evo to be as usable as you'd want it to be. It's 72,000 coins, 91% downvoted, as you kind of would expect. The card's not terrible, but if he was released as an 86 rated card with these ending stats after it goes into the 30,000 coins Snow Shadow Evo, then maybe it would feel a bit more worth it. The Bruiser Plus, sure, is interesting. Some of his other playstyles are pretty good as well. I mean, honestly, you look at the playstyles and you think the dude could play center back. No passing playstyles, but he's got all the defending ones except for intercept, and he can play center mid and CDM. So I wish that he had a passing playstyle or two, or the center back position based off of what he has right there. But yeah, I just don't like the idea of an SBC being even 60,000 coins for a player that you really need to spend 30,000 coins more on to get them to be the most usable version that they could be. I'm sure some of you guys who are Brighton fans already have better versions of his gold card evoed with all the crazy evos that we have had recently. Now, there was a good part of yesterday's content on Tuesday with the SBCs, and that was the return of our favorite player pick SBC during this promo. That was the 85 plus player pick that only requires the rare golds. You got to turn in 9 rare golds in the first squad, 9 rare golds in the second squad, and you have yourself 3 85 plus picks. We're going to be able to do those every single day. I didn't hear of a ton of people packing Vieira or Henri or even Zico's little bro or baby icons, whatever you want to call them, as people were opening these yesterday, but we have fond memories of the first week of Winter Wildcards and how good these player picks were, so we are very happy to have these back, as we are with the 80 plus player picks as well. I think these are much better than the 78 plus 5 of 10 picks. I'll gladly only take 3 players home if I can get 80 plus cards instead of the 78 plus that let us take 5 players out of the 10, but it just seemed to give more 70 rated cards instead of the 83s and 4s that I most commonly get from the 80 plus picks. Both of those player picks from yesterday were very highly upvoted, and it is very, very nice to have those back. So those are a must complete every single day, and they're actually going to go forward into the next promo as well of Time Warp, as they will be available past this Friday of content when we transition out of winter wildcards. Now, I've skipped evolutions because I wanted to talk about that last. This was a very unexpected piece of content as a part of yesterday's release. It is a Evo that we can complete 30 times repeatable. The Balancing Act evolution simply gives +2 to the balance in-game stat. Max 85 overall is the only requirement, and there's no cap for this Evo. At first, we were like, wait, what is going on here? Because seeing an Evo that can be completed 30 times is just crazy. And then you think about it, wait, there's no cap on this. So all of a sudden it turns from like, turns from, wow, this is not that great of an Evo, to like, wait a second. You start to see the potential of how this could be very good. 30 times you get to boost up plus 60 balance on one single card, or you can split it up and put on a whole bunch of different cards. I think that is the way to go about it. Now, what I've already started to do, as you can see, I've repeated it 3 times already, I've got it done, is I'm starting to pick players where I want to boost up their agility, not agility. I keep saying agility and balance because those are the 2 stats that go together when you talk about this dribbling stat or this part of the dribbling in-game stat on a lot of players. When you look at players dribbling, the first 2 stats that we see are agility and balance. And this Van de Ven is the card that I haven't really done a super big Evo chain with yet. I put Jockey Plus on him, and I'm going to start boosting up that balance because this is a guy who's normally very low in the balance stat. You look at other players like the Rude Hullet Silver card that a lot of people are evolving at the moment. He's a great card to be putting this Evo on because his balance is very low. A lot of other center backs, or just not just center backs, but tall players in general, this Evo is fantastic for it. But this is really where the questions started to come in about this Evo, because we're like, wait a second. We know what the agility stat is, but what does the balance stat actually do in game? And actually in pro clubs, there's a description. We were talking about this yesterday on the stream. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but this is a really good way to go about it because there was a lot of conversation of whether the balance stat is only useful for midfielders and attackers that would be on the ball, or if it's actually useful for defenders as well. This is what EA describes the balance stat is in game. Balance reduces your chances of stumbling and falling when challenged by an opponent. Then again, after reading that, I feel like I need another definition of what does it mean to be challenged by an opponent. Obviously, the first thought that comes to mind is if you're dribbling when an opponent comes in with a tackle, whether that's a regular tackle or maybe with an advanced defending shoulder barge tackle, right? You're thinking, okay, a player with higher balance and maybe some good strength to go with that would have a lesser chance of being moved off the ball. Well, what about if it's a defender who's not on the ball, but if it's just maybe on a corner, they're having a physical duel and you're pressing L2 to shield. Maybe you're a striker who has the ball and you're trying to enforcer plus, like that play style, just shield in general. Or again, like I mentioned, on a corner where you have a defender who's just trying to make space and you're using L2. Does that also impact their ability to do that in game? That's the question mark that you really kind of have. Undoubtedly, the balance stat is a very important one. Whether or not we really understand what it does specifically in game, it is going to make your player feel probably a bit more agile and just less floppy, I guess. I don't know what the word is to describe it, to be completely honest, but they should feel better movement-wise. Even as a defender, you think that with better balance and maybe like the jockey play style, they would just move better, shifting across the pitch and just trying to mark defenders. It's really one of those where it's going to be a feel thing more than like a stat thing, I think, that you can just notice and see. Like when you see somebody get a shooting boost from 80 to 99, you're going to be like, wow, I'm going to notice that. Balance stat, I think it's going to be more of a feel thing of like not one specific action, but as you move the player about the pitch. So a lot of rambling there from me just to really say, put this Evo on whoever you want to put it on. I'm putting it on some center backs. I'm also going to put it on some midfielders and some attackers. I don't think there's a wrong way to use this Evo because you're ultimately just going to create a player who's more responsive than they were before. Now, the one thing I will say with this is maybe you don't go all the way up to 99 balance because now EA's giving us the opportunity to go to 99. Maybe there will be future Evo limits where they will say, hey, can't be a max 99 rated balance player in this evolution. So that's one thing to kind of be careful about. But like this Hullet goes to 99 balance. I don't think we've ever had a Hullet that has gone to 99 balance, and that's going to be crazy. Even this Mickey Van de Ven, like I'm probably going to take him up here to like high 80s balance because number one, his starting balance is so low, you can't get him too high without, using all 30 of your balancing act evolutions. And number two, do you really need it to be 99? Probably not. But there's going to be so many opportunities with this evolution and with these cards that you can create to just boost up so many different players to a really high level in that regard. So let me know in the comments as we kind of figure out this balance stat, and as EA's really got us honed in on it after we're just thinking about it a lot after seeing that Evo. Let me know what you guys think. Does it actually help defenders, or should it just be used for attackers and midfielders who are actually on the ball? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. And once again, repeatable 30 times seems like a lot, but once again, it's very easy to complete inside of the Season 4 standard Golden Cup, whatever it's called, this golden goal mode. So make sure you get the Evo done in there and quit out of those games. Don't win. You know, you don't actually have to win for most of the Evos, right? It's just play. And for this Evo specifically, it's just play games. Especially don't win in the final, like we've been talking about, because then you won't be able to play that golden goal tournament. After you win the final, you'll be locked out until it refreshes in the early hours of the next day. So that is the content that we got yesterday. I want to talk about the market really quick. That content didn't move the market a whole lot, but what I'm noticing is with some of the Evo leaks that we've got, specifically the Claudia Pina Evo we're going to talk about in a second, and maybe just a lot of the Evos being so good right now in this game. Evo chains, we've been talking about them for weeks now. They continue to take over. You continue to see crazy cards that people are creating all the time. You're starting to see some of the market, especially midfielders, kind of take a hit. And I think that's really because of the Rude Hullet evolution and some of the other midfielder Evos that have been released. Even some of the SBCs are probably to blame for that as well right now too. I'm not saying prices are crashing by any regard, but Patrick Guijarro was 300,000 coins yesterday, or at least 280 for most of the day. Yeah, from 300K down to 270, back up to 290. She's 275,000 coins again. The market just doesn't feel like it's continuing to rise at such of a rapid pace that it was over the weekend. Some of the cards like that Guijarro from Impacts are down a little bit. Some of the other icons, same thing. But then some of the icons like Henry and Vieira, they're still chilling. Vieira right around 600,000 coins. Henry right around 1 million coins. And even some of the other icons in this team like Cannavaro, he's up right now, 700,000 coins. His price has been doing very well. I think if you want to get active on the market, the safest place right now is lower budget, like less than 250,000 coins, and cards that people are building right now for their teams, especially if you like kind of just picture somebody who just started playing the game in the last couple of weeks. And of course, you've seen price rises like this Gravenberch on Christmas or just afterward was 78,000 coins. He was as high as 98K yesterday. So that's a card that's doing very good. But like you could have bought him yesterday on Tuesday at 85K and then he went to 98. Like, what is Gravenberch go to if you get him at 90,000 coins right now on a bid? Does he hit 98 or 100? Does he go above 100? Because again, you've got a Liverpool card coming in Team of the Week today, but that's just the type of player on a lower budget people are going to be using in their teams. Even though he is a midfielder and we're trying to be a little bit more careful with those, you might have more success going to a striker or going to a center back from a Thunderstruck promo team or from a more recent promo team that is now out of packs. That's where you've seen a lot of the market rise. Like, obviously, I bought a whole bunch of the David Beckhams for 67, 68,000 coins. I still have all of mine. I'm not really in a hurry to sell a card like that, or even most of the investments that I have here. But I just think that if you're trying to actively trade on the market, that's going to be the place where you can make the best coins, because that's where I'm seeing cards move the most. It's that lower tier budget. Now, I will say as well, guys, anything out of packs, in packs, get on bids. If you're looking to just make some coins, this CC card, I literally just bought for 114, sold it for 130. She just went for 107,000 coins because I wasn't paying attention and looking at one of her other listings that was there. Here's another one right there at 115. I just sold it at 130, so if I can bid 116 or 17, I'm going to do that. Here's a couple other ones that I'll try to win on bid. You can make easy coins if you just get on bids. Look at the footprint graphs, watch the fluctuations. There's easy money there. Now, we, of course, invested in fodder some this weekend as well. I want to look over these prices. 85 rateds, 2.5 to 2.6K. GG's if you bought these at 2K or below. Even I think it was Monday we were shouting out these cards for 2K. They have risen up very nicely. Sell those today. Guys, I think all of your fodder you're going to want to sell today. 85s to 88s in particular, as 88s are now about 9.4 to 9.5K. That's nice. I would take the opportunity to sell these unless you're holding on to them for the potential player of the month Mbappe. And if you're holding on for that sort of SBC league, really you'd be holding the 88s, 89s, 90s, and those higher ticket priced fodder items, the higher rated ones. that's where you'd be holding for a player of the month Mbappe. But if it's for these lower tier cards, I do think, like they do every single week, they would probably drop with division rivals rewards, even though we got set back with a new season. I mean, you look at last week on Wednesday, these cards for 86s were up at 3,600 coins, and then they never really went back up. After Wednesday, they dropped all the way into Saturday, where we were talking about investing Friday night into Saturday once again. They rose really nice. They didn't go quite as high this week. I mean, they were 3.7 last week. They're 3.4 right now. I think today would be your peak day to be selling those, taking the cash, and bringing in the profits before we get too far into the week with more of the supply. Now, let's talk about the EVO leaks. Let's start moving into some of the information and news before we talk about New Year's Eve content today, because yesterday, of course, we were waiting for the big leak about Claudia Pina and this evolution now that we've known about for the past 2 days. It was finally tweeted, guys. And of course, with that, Claudia Pina's card went up even further in price on the market. She's approaching 9,000 coins again. We'll talk about it. But here's the leak, right? The Bombazo leaks yesterday, the exploding head emojis today. Claudia Pina, it's over. With a pace, agility, balance, and stamina is here. Best card in the game, question mark. He's really hyping this up. A new max 86 left mid evolution is set to come. Originally, we thought this might be a striker Evo. It is a left mid Evo. Insane stats upgrade. Official stats on this card in the picture are what these cards should get upgraded to, or at least her card will get. Of course, the Finesse Plus boost is from the Season Pass. So this evolution for Pina is not going to be possible this week, which the Friday is the alleged date of the release of this evolution. So the Finesse Plus will not be there. Of course, that's at the end of the Season Pass. He's just using that for hype. For whatever reason, of course, because we're going to get to level 38 next week, right? No, it's going to be weeks before we actually get to level 38 and can choose who we want to put Finesse Plus on. But he's showing it there. But this Evo does look very good. The theme of the evolution is to give players a big pace, dribbling, and physical boost. Again, it's a left mid Evo. Tech Plus is a playstyle plus that is given out. You get rapid, quickstep, and silver-based playstyles, +1 skill move. So Pina would go to 5-star, 5-star. All players that fit this Evo will gain 3 stars chemistry boost, because this evolution is expected to drop on Friday in the new Time Warp promo, which all Time Warp cards have a chemistry boost to them. And then there's a requirement of this Evo, 10 regular max playstyles and 1 playstyle plus requirement, which is very normal. A lot of people get confused by this when the leakers tweet about it, because they think it means that we're going to be able to go up to 10 playstyles on our card. I do not believe that's the case. All the Evos that we've been getting, EA has said, will give you playstyles, but we'll cap them at 7. So I think that's going to be the same situation here with these. And for Claudia Pina, of course, this has a lot of people buying her card, because the whole thing with the pace boost is we're looking at a 90 pace plus 11 pace on the gold Claudia Pina. I don't know why he uses a dynamic image here on Pina, because this is the version that we will be boosting, well, if you're going to put the gold card into it. Let's just double quick look at the stats one more time. 79 pace going up to 90. The shooting is unmoved. +1 pass, +2 dribble, +8 physical. Of course, big stamina boost in there. He says her card goes up to 86 stamina. That's +10 from what her base card has right now. And with the playstyles that are added, rapid, quick step, first touch, silver, she already has 6 base playstyles, right, on her card right here. So you'd only be able to get the first one, whatever the first one is in this evolution. If it's rapid, if it's quick step, that's all that you would get, and you would not be able to add any more, because we again assume that max 7 playstyles would be the cap for this Evo. That is a pretty big boost, and honestly, the fact that it goes to 5-star, 5-star, and gets 90 pace, this is going to be the best version of Claudia Pina in the game. Unless you really love the Finesse Shot Plus Player of the Month, which is the one that I have, that I'm using at the moment, this is going to be the best version of her, guys, because the pace and the playstyle being added there with having her other playstyle still on the card is going to be pretty crazy. And that has got her gold card going up in price. Now, once again, it's up to about 9,000 coins. you got to sell on the hype. Even though the card looks very good, guys, the pack weight on her gold card is so high. She's everywhere. People have been investing in this card for ages, waiting for an evolution. And here it is, right? This is the crazy Evo everybody's been investing in this card for. There's so many cards out there. So many people have her untradeable at this point. Sure, I get it. There's new people that are coming onto the game around the Christmas period, which brings more demand for her card. But I think you really got to sell this into the hype, guys. I really believe that you do. And I think 9K is going to be the place where you try to do that. If she crazily enough does go higher than 9K, then GG's. And if you want to risk that and hold for it, go for it. But personally, we've seen Claudia Pina get packed so much. I think you want to sell this one into the hype. Now, other cards you want to sell would be her other versions, and people are already getting off the start to that, because in yesterday's video I was like, I don't think the Evo is going to be that crazy, right? Is she actually going to be 5'5"? Is she actually going to have stats better than this card? Well, the answer is yes. The Evo is that crazy, and well, from 260,000 coins, this striker Pina is now down to 227. And the left wing Pina from Winter Wildcards has gone from 130K down to 110. And guys, the thing is, people just want to use the best version of the most overpowered card in the game. At least people who like to use that most OP card and don't want to go with more emotional squads for themselves. This is going to be the version that people use, because 90 pace is crazy. So if you have a gold Pina, keep it in your club and get ready to Evo it if you want to. But if you have one of these two versions, I think I would sell, because I think that this Evo is going to take over even more. It's going to be crazy this weekend after this drops, because legit, like, again, forget that the finesse is there. Just those stats on that Claudia Pina with the pace. I mean, she already feels kind of fast at 79 pace. Imagine what 90 is going to feel like with this card with a pace playstyle. It's going to be crazy. So we're still awaiting some of the news on the requirements, because that's the one thing here that I think actually may make this evolution a little bit less hype than what they're making it to be, especially for those of us like myself who really don't want to put in Claudia Pina. I got the player of the month. I got a version of her. I'm good. I want to put somebody else in this, somebody else to get a big pace boost and a big stamina boost and some more play styles. He says this Evo has a lot of requirements and not all players fit, and they haven't really told us who players do and don't fit. This tweet here from ASY Foot Trader shows Nico Williams, which it's a little sketchy for me, because Nico Williams has, what, 93 pace on his base gold card, and I don't think this card was rising at all for this evolution before this. I would be very careful investing in Nico Williams, because you're hoping that he fits this. We don't know really the rest of the requirements that make it very unique here, like Foot Police was saying. So watch out for some of those leaks and news related to that. I mean, there's only been a couple of responses here on Twitter where he says he fits. How many playstyles base he fits? I need to know if my GOAT fits. He does. That guy's 87 pace, but the stats otherwise are pretty bad. This Alyssa Thompson card with 88 pace, 86 dribble does fit as well. So at least if there is a pace cap, then it's not going to be any lower than 87 or 88. That's the real question, is what is the pace cap? Is there one? Because there's a lot of really pacey left mids that would go crazy in this Evo. There's even some left mids that have center back position that would go pretty crazy in this Evo, like Gavardiol. Like, I think there's going to be no center back position as a part of this Evo requirements, because imagine you could boost Gavardiol to 90 pace and like give him a chain. I think they would probably say no center backs allowed in this Evo. We'll just have to see though, because again, he does have left mid position. So that's one thing to watch out for with this. We eagerly await the news on what the exact requirements are going to be with the Pina evolution. But strikers, left mids, because Pina is going to be so popularly Evo'd from that this weekend on Friday. Once again, that's when we expect to see that. I think you want to sell most, if not all, of those strikers and left mids, left wings. I think you want to be treating this with extreme caution, because it is Claudia Pina, and there's a lot of hype around her card and a lot of hype around this evolution, guys. So we wait for the requirements to actually confirm that, but the leakers are kind of milking this one here too, because they have the requirements. They're just not posting them. Hopefully they do today, and hopefully we get some actual answers on what cards might be fitting into this. All right, that's the big news with leaks. Let's talk about what's coming today. New Year's Eve. Guys, today is the last content of 2025, which sounds kind of crazy to say. By the way, if you have not completed the SBC for Courtois, his card goes away today. Make sure you get that one done. Even if you're set on goalkeepers, like, just do it because you're going to want it for a gauntlet later on. You're going to need it. Madrid links. It's going to be very helpful. So make sure you do that one. But today, the last day of 2025, it's a perfect day for EA to release an SBC that they haven't done yet this year. Yet it's an SBC that we kind of look forward to every year. It is called a year in review player pick. There's no leaks for this yet. There's no, even speculation except for what I'm talking about today. But if EA wanted to have some fun, this would be the perfect day to drop this SBC, and they've done it before. Now, why would it be the perfect day? Well, of course, year in review. Think about it. It'd be the perfect day to drop a player pick that would give you, like a regular campaign mix, aka party bag SBC gives you, the chance at packing a promo card from one of the promo cards or from one of the promos that has dropped so far this year, right? Right now, we have a campaign mix that gives us Scream, Primetime, Festival Football, or FC Pro Live player items. And we get a new pack or player pick like this every single Wednesday. Now, we've actually had a campaign mix player pick this year. We've had a lot of the packs, and we've just recently upgraded to the 87 plus campaign mix upgrade. Now, the most likely situation is that this SBC just refreshes today and it just comes back because there's no new pack code that is added to the code. However, like we saw in FC24, right before the start of 2024, the year 2024, we actually had a year in review player pick. And guys, of course, if you haven't heard before, player picks don't have to get added to the code. They can still be leaked ahead of time by the leakers because they can learn that info because they have their EA connections or however they get their leaks. But packs are added to the code, player picks are not. So there's no leaks for this right now because it's not like we can look at the pack code and say, oh, EA's added a year in review pack code. There's not that yet. But, I mean, wouldn't it just be perfect? Can we have a little bit of fun for a second and just imagine EA dropping a fun piece of timely content for the start of a brand new year, 2026, calling the day before that the year in review player? That'd be fun. And these are always cheap. So at the very least today, I would expect the 87 plus campaign mix to refresh, and hopefully we do get a year in review player pick. That'd be super dope because it is basically the exact same thing, and Wednesdays are our gamble pack days. Now, if they did do this, would they allow us to pack cards from like the most recent promos of Winter Wild Cards, Unbreakables, Joga Bonitos? Probably not. I'd be surprised even if they added in Thunderstrucks to the campaign pack today because, again, there's no new pack code yet. So unless we're going to a player pick, how much new are we going to get with this? But at the very least, give us a campaign mix upgrade refreshing today, and at least EA give us something fun for New Year's Eve. Of course, on Christmas, we had the Christmas Cheer SBC, which was kind of fun. Or maybe if they dropped an Evo that was a price of 2,025 coins, that was like a nice little upgrade for that sort of little fun piece of content, intertwining the real world of the new year today and all that brings with this game would be super fun. I hope EA continues to do more of that. I don't feel like they do enough of that, to be completely honest. And I guess I'm just hoping for this fun little piece of content today to just do something a little extra special in the game because of what the day is with New Year's Eve. Now, hopefully it's a pack SBC. Again, hopefully it is the year in review player pick. We will have to see. But other than that, we're down on the countdown now of Winter Wildcards SBCs to the last two. It is Ashley Cole and the Ketelera. I thought Ashley Cole was yesterday. I hoped and I thought wrong because it was Baleba. But now the Ketelera and Ashley Cole, I'm going to hope that the Ketelera is today because hopefully I'm wrong and Ashley Cole drops. But we'll watch out for either of those two SBCs today. Once again, I'll mention it again, Ashley Cole looks pretty good. I'd be careful with some left backs if the price of this SBC is good. I've actually got a lot of fodder right now in my club, and if the price of Ashley Cole is good and if he has good playstyles, then I may be doing it because, like I said, I've got Jordi Alba and he's great, but I need some new juice at the left back position, and Quickstep Plus is pretty good after using it on Bombito for a handful of games now. Quickstep Plus is pretty useful for a defender, and like Jordi Alba, I mean, hey, great card. He's still Hullet Gang, but I feel like I'm missing out a little bit here with some more playstyles added to him since we can't Evo him yet. And I think Ashley Cole could fill the void there. So we're still watching out for that one, or De Ketelera. And other than that, refreshes of the daily SBCs and a brand new team of the week, which actually, this might be one of the better team of the weeks that we've had in a hot minute. We've got Verts, first team of the week as a Liverpool player for scoring his goal. We've got Odegaard, Watkins, Cherky, Akanji, no longer at Manchester City, but in the Serie A. And these are predicted stats, but like even some of the names of this team of the week, this actually looks kind of solid for players that we may want to evo. Definitely the Cherokee. The Kevin Shada just got a winter wild cards. Maybe depending on the rating of his card here, his inform could be very good for evos. Kind of looks like a Rafael Leao or a Salma Parluelo type situation. Nico Paz, Malcolm is in here. You even got at the bottom Dorgu, Manchester United left back. He's getting an inform. Kalulu for Juventus and Dubravka, goalkeeper card for Burnley. Decent Evo players. Like, just the players that are in this look pretty decent. I would imagine there's going to be leaked stats for the official team of the week soon soon towards we get to the content today on Wednesday. But that actually looks like a decent team of the week. A couple of Greek players in there as well. I just saw two Greek players beside themselves, Sozolis and Virgos. So if you're Greek, it's a good week for being a team of the week pack puller, I guess you could say. I'm going to list up the CC card. I'm going to get a little bit active on the market. Again, guys, cheaper cards. Oh, there we go. There's the bid. 114 for CC, 115. I will absolutely pay 110. I would love to pay like 107 like I saw that bid before. But these are the types of cards you want to trade with on the bids. You can mess around with the impact stuff if you want to, but lower budget is the place to be. Some of the higher budget cards still move. We were talking about this Lucio yesterday. We bought him at 350 on the stream. He went up to like 380 where he is now. You know, this Pushkas, maybe he goes from 1.7 to 1.9 today if we're lucky. But am I going to chance it? Not really. I'm going to stick to the lower budget stuff. But hopefully, again, to wrap it all up, hopefully EA do release something just fun today for New Year's Eve. Maybe instead of a 2025 coin evolution, maybe they do a 2025 coin pack. That'd be fun. Anyways, guys, I'll stop yapping. Let me know once again down in the comments what you think about the Evo from yesterday, and I will catch you guys in a stream today. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter one because of the holiday, of course, but we will be streaming today, looking at the new content, seeing if EA do something fun for New Year's Eve. And I wish all of you guys, even before it happens, a very happy and safe New Year's Eve and a happy new year. I will see you guys in the stream today. If you did enjoy this one, drop a thumbs up on the video, comment down below if you have any questions, and of course, subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys in the stream today. It's been Nate. Have a great day. Peace out.